Okay, here we go. Welcome back to Mepper. We are now inside of the OS X utilities for 10.9. So, this is the last version of macOS to have the Aqua look, which is why I have it on here. It is also not hard to get on here. So, let's install 10.9 onto that thing, which is exactly why we're doing this at all. Alright, so let's go to install OS X, or reinstall OS X, sorry. OS X Mavericks, which is 10.9. Hopefully it will work. Okay, thank God. I'm going to disconnect from the Wi-Fi so it only uses Ethernet, which it should. Yeah, feels like it's working. Alright. Now we're going to install it into SpeedCore, which is the third partition and the biggest one on that machine, which is where we want this. So it's downloading additional components.
After the Treaty of Versailles, which banned Germany from developing new artillery systems, Krupp engineers worked
Shit.
at the Bofors factory.
Let's try that again.
The was ready in 1928, officially an anti-aircraft gun. But the high muzzle velocity needed to hit aircraft at altitude.
Maybe it's not working with Ethernet. Let's turn Wi-Fi back on. This worked like 2 years ago, which is when I did this, I think. Come on. No, that's not working. Okay. Yeah, that's just not doing anything. Let's try this again. Okay, agree. We want to install it onto SpeedCore. Install. Oh my God, that's working. Okay, I don't know what the hell. Maybe this Ethernet adapter is just not working. Maybe it just gave up. I don't know. Because it's getting warm, so I thought that might be working, but I guess it's not. Maybe Thunderbolt always had connection problems in the connector. I know it does now, but like even the Thunderbolt 4 and 3, even Thunderbolt 5 has horrible just connection issues in the connector. I don't know how this shit ever made it into products like this, being as horrible as they are. They need to have interlocks that like lock it in place. Because also just disconnect at the slightest bump, which it always does for me. I'm really surprised when it doesn't. And it's a huge pain in the ass. And like this kind of crap started with HDMI, because we have some really heavy HDMI cables that have huge problems connecting to TVs in the house. They just rip apart the connectors because they're like slanting out of place because the cable is pulling them down. And the cable has to be massive and heavy because it's a long cable. It has to go across the room. And there's really nothing in between a huge, really long HDMI cable, like unnecessarily long, and like a few feet. Like apparently there's just nothing there that exists for HDMI cables. So I have to use the longest one we have. And that's a pain in the ass because it'll destroy the HDMI connector in the TV. And the TV's mounted at the wall. I can't just pick it up and put another one in its place. And it's a really good TV too. I don't want to destroy the ports on it, but people are stupid, and people designing things can be really stupid too, and it has no interlocks. So it is what it is. HDMI is bound to destroy itself over time, and so are Thunderbolt, Firewire, and USB. All of them terrible. USB is the only one that has like actual interlocks. And an older example of interlocks is, well, the screws in a DB or DE connector, like DVI or VGA. That's a great example. And there's actually some things that have USB ports that have those. But that's kind of a That's kind of more like bolted on. That's not. That doesn't really seem that official.
In December 19...
There needs to be some other way to do it, because like this is stupid. This is smart, but again, it comes out if you sneeze on it, and it's not even working. It says it's charging, but it's actually not. Like the light's not on. That means this is not functioning properly. It's because it's not making good contact. Yeah, and this is really wiggly too. It's just, these things are just, they're not very pro. There shouldn't be anything, they shouldn't be in anything called pro unless they can deliver that. And they don't. Like, these are great ports if they functioned. And if you can bump it and it disconnects, then that doesn't function in my eyes. But yeah, this takes a long time. It's probably downloading off of the Wi-Fi, which kind of sucks. I mean, the transmit rate is 585 megabits, but I guarantee it's never actually going to reach that. I really wish that this Ethernet adapter was working. It's warming up, so that tells me that it might be doing something, but honestly, I don't really know. Given how unreliable I found the Thunderbolt 3 and up ports to be, I doubt this is even making a connection back to the computer. Which is unfortunate, because this adapter would be pretty useful if it did. Especially on machines like this, or machines with Thunderbolt 1 and 2. I've even used this on a computer with Thunderbolt 3 to just get wired in networking access to my friend's house internet, who has much better upload speed than I do, and I was able to do teleconferencing work. So that's what I used that for. And that's because I didn't want to bring my big 10 gig NIC with me, because it didn't work well with that computer, of course, because the USB-C connectors are just awful, and I just forgot to bring it. And the only one I had was this and a Thunderbolt 2 to 3 adapter, so that's what I used. So yeah, just adapters and adapters and adapters, even between these two machines. But the fact that these machines have 6 years between them, I'm going to say that's fine. What's even weirder is this machine has both FireWire 800 and FireWire 400 right next to each other. Which I didn't think they had that. I thought only the iMacs had that. Okay, so this is almost done, freaking finally. I'm going to have 10.9 on that machine. Oh, this is probably going to boot into the macOS 9 on that machine using this machine over FireWire, so that's probably going to suck. But I need to make it bootable, so better let it finish. So yeah, the other thing is rebooting. It's going to boot into freaking macOS 10,000 or whatever.
By the time the design was finalized in 1941, nothing of the original light intercept...
Your wiener batteries are low.
The turbo supercharger gave superb
That's what she said.
above 20,000 feet. Down low...
Got that tape from last time. What is it even doing? It's just...
In early 1944,
I thought that the wheel went away.
Escort fighter rule. The Thunderbolt was freed up for
What the hell is it doing?
and it turned out to be perfect.
What are you doing?
8 half-inch...
What are you doing?
A load of up to 2,500 pounds of bombs
hell's it
or
doing?
rockets. Most importantly, a Pratt & Whitney air-cooled radio...
I don't know if I should cut the video and just... Oh! Of course, as soon as I say something!
Thunderbolt pilots
Wouldn't need any of these anymore. Okay.
Thunderbolts destroyed
Looks like a very 3D Apple logo.
6,000 armored vehicles and around
Alright, come on. Alright, now it's booting into 10.9, probably the 10.9 partition that's on the drive that's in there. Which is good, because that means it's bootable. Hopefully it'll be bootable to that machine.
High altitude interception decided the war on the ground.
Alright.
Its descendant, the A-10 Thunderbolt II, still serves
Ah, damn it.
the same concept. Take the
It's
hit.
just installing now.
The Henshaw
Okay, well,
129.
I'll come back to you when it's done.